Hey everyone, Bob Perkins here with AISP's Inside Sales Studio with special guest Doug Devitre. It's been a while, Doug. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Bob. Nice to see you again. Thanks.
Well, this is a great story that Doug has. Doug was an expert in video selling, screen-to-screen selling way back when, before it was cool, right? He even had this book written. He spoke at the 2014 Leadership Summit. And Doug, back then, we were both begging people, get on camera. Well, here we are today, and guess what? It's not 10% like it was back then. It's
Yeah.
almost 100%. So you're going to share some cool thoughts, ideas today for everyone.
Yeah, it's really interesting how the dynamic has changed, right? And now because everyone's forced to be on Zoom, right? Before it was like, hey, can you at least try this so we can have a better conversation, more meaningful conversation? Now, right? At least, you're required by law not to meet with people in certain circumstances. So,
Right.
How do you differentiate yourself inside the square that you have, right? And it's not just with Zoom meetings, but it's also with LinkedIn Live, with Facebook Live, with YouTube Live, right? It's creating meaningful conversations where you're easily accessible to customers, and then also, right, giving you the flexibility to be able to change gears, just like you would be able to change gears working with somebody in person, right? Like ask me for a document, ask me for a different image or slide or visual to support the conversation. There's so many cool and exciting ways that you can engage people right now without being physically present.
Right. Right. What are you seeing out there? I know we were all kind of forced into using video because that's the means we communicated internally when everybody got locked down at home. And now it's highly important that reps do it well with prospects and clients. What's one or two things you can share that are must-dos today?
Boy, thanks for asking. I think really, before you show up, you have to make sure you're set up with the right environment, right? And if I can, I'll just go ahead and share my screen, and then I'll get this into kind of like a little digital whiteboard. And I don't know if you've seen the different setups that people were working with. This is what my setup looks like at home, right? Totally work from home studio. This is my computer right here. This is my second monitor. This is my professional microphone. Now, I would say, 5 years ago, I would have said, the webcam audio is okay, right? Yeah. But I just really love the ability to have that professional sound coming across in anything that I do. So this, not only this works for Zoom meetings, but also works for podcasts as well. You can see here also, I've got this little soundboard here that think about bringing this radio studio into any Zoom meeting you have or phone conversation, right? So one of the things that I like to do, depending on what the meeting is, I might have some music, right, that I can start to add into this. Nice. If it's your joke, I'm gonna hit the laugh button. If it's my joke or I say something silly, I'm gonna acknowledge that kind of dead space. So it kind of makes this fun in a way that just sets yourself apart. Also, I kind of have this other little device that allows me to pull up these little visuals that I have anticipated that are going to be relevant to the conversation, right? So for example, if I'm kind of like backing out, right now I'm on desktop screen share mode.
Right.
And so then if I wanted to just kind of change what this background looks like, now I have an image that's supporting me. If I'm going to take questions from somebody, I can change up the scene to make this a little bit more dynamic, right? It says, hey, type it in the chat right now. I'm here to help you. And then when it's time to transition onto something else, I can do that. I know that sometimes even for doing virtual events, there's sponsors that want to get involved. So how do you highlight those sponsors? There's different fun ways to change it up, and keep in mind, I'm doing this all through, the webcam. So there's right now, this is kind of preacher mode, right? Where it's the webcam. Now this is teacher mode. You've seen me kind of get in, and I can start to facilitate a conversation, right? And what you find, with a lot of presentations, especially these web demos, here are all the different steps that you have to follow in this specific order. Now I have the flexibility to address their pain points in a specific order, and because I can highlight this, And because I can draw this out, it clarifies that I understood what they'd said. So that way I don't try to take them down a place that they don't want to be. So this is where we really get to engage in a dynamic way, and then also consult with people based upon their needs. Like my visuals, everything that I have in my background is always focused on what the customer wants.
And you know, this is much like if you were there in person, you have a whiteboard. You're going to use the whiteboard. It's a way to engage, to get feedback, to read body
Oh
language.
yeah, yeah. And go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, now, if you're starting out with video, you have a few things there that are beyond the beginner, but even just the essentials, like you have a good light in front of you, a ring light.
Yeah.
You have and these high quality microphones don't have to cost that much. So you can invest in some of the basics.
Oh,
And then,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. I know on my website, I have a product guide that I take 10 different categories of the different products that you might want to consider investing in, between lighting, sound, video equipment, software, accessories.
Call out that website so we can put it on the screen for the viewers.
Oh, sure. It's dougdevitre.com. And I'm super active on LinkedIn too. So if you connect with me that way, you have the ability to find that. But there's a product guide in here that and it tells you the reviews. It tells you how many items are sold. So I really have a comprehensive list of the latest inventory that's out there that you might want to look at, right? And what's so hard too is that there's so many different options that it's really easy to get lost, right? It's really easy to get confused. Whether you're working with an entrepreneur's budget or you're working with, the corporate budget, you always want to try to stretch that dollar as much as you possibly can, right?
And this
You don't
video,
add in. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, video's here to stay. So people, what I think, even we still have people today that don't have proper lighting, that they have a window behind them. It washes everything out.
Oh,
You don't have to have you don't have to have a backdrop like me or a digital backdrop like you. That's great. But there are some basics, and we all need to get up to. You all got to understand that this is the new face to face. This is the new handshake. This is the new in there in person, right? So you have to have some of the. I mean, look at that one picture right above you that you can't even barely see the person because they have a window behind them and nothing in front of them, right?
It's pretty shady character, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, who is it?
Right. And so I think here's something that I've kind of discovered, right? And this was right when the pandemic hit, is that leaders can't hide anymore. Right? You can't hide anymore. And you also can't hide the ability that you're not good on camera anymore, because there's an expectation that either your employees or your customers expect to see you lead front and center, right? Or at least have someone with the charisma and the ability just to get out there. Because I tell you, time to task, when we look at productivity, the time to task is how quickly can we get our message out there to the most amount of people, and really even if we can be strategic about it, boy, we have opportunities to get into places we never could before, because we use this different type of platform. And I have several different examples here. When we talk about video, we have live video, then we also have asynchronous video. Now, how quickly can you create a video tutorial for your website, right? I'll show you an example here, right, too. This seems to be like the one that people love to see the most. Once I get the right microphone and once I get the right cameras hooked up into here, now I can just record a video of whatever's on my website. So if we were doing this, like you had said, what about those products that you had mentioned, right? I would then go into search and say, hey, everybody, it's Doug. And right now I'm looking for the product guide, and I'm going to go to the search on my website because it's a little bit easier to find. Or maybe it's not in there. But type in guy, let's see if it comes up.
So the point here is you can personalize and send a video just specific to
Yeah, you
service, a
can.
product.
So now that I've clicked this stop video, right? Let's say I got that video down. This is
Yeah.
the link that I copy and paste, and then I put in the participant chat, or that I
Yeah.
copy and paste, and I send it by email, or I send it by text message, or send it by Facebook Messenger, or I send it by Slack. The whole deal is when you decrease your time to task, and you also decrease the time to task for the people who you're trying to help, you're able to add more value.
And
Right?
it's the new look. You're talking about the way buyers want to be really supported and interact, engaged, and sold to. I say the new buyer is Amazonized, right? They want to click, review, see a video, make a purchase. So, Doug, this has been really good. We put your website up there earlier, and everyone get out to see some of the top 10 essential things you need for your home video setup. Check out Doug and everything he has to offer. We really appreciate it. Hope to see you, when we maybe do get back in person someday. We hope to see you again at an AISP event.
Yeah, no doubt. They're a lot of fun. And as much as I love virtual, there's nothing better than shaking somebody's hand, looking them in the eye, and give them a hug, right? That's
you
what
bet.
this is all about.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining this. Hope it helped. Hope you took away some value from this. Until next time, everyone, good selling. Bye-bye.
Yeah.